Hello, everybody. Welcome back. And today we are bringing the energy to Bells and Bloodshed.
Week 3 or episode 3 coming at you today.
Girl, this is episode 2.
No, it's episode. Wait, is it episode 2?
Yes,
it is
queen.
episode 2. So sorry. We had our introduction, your video from last week, and now mine today. So we're going to go ahead and get started. But first, we can't forget our lovely information. Again, follow us YouTube,
Spotify,
Spotify,
X, TikTok,
Instagram,
and Facebook.
Mm-hmm. Also, email us any cases that you want us to cover, ghost, true crime, anything that you want us to go over.
Anything supernatural, paranormal, just downright cray-cray. And any of these, links to any social media, YouTube, Spotify, etc., it can be found in the link in our YouTube description. And of course, you can just look us up because we're baddies like that. Okay, everybody, now let's get into our very important sweet tea time. So, Bailey, I'll let you start.
Okay, my time. Let me think. This week coming up, pretty busy week. Last week was kind of chill, not really much going on. Yeah, went to Mexican with my mom. Taught the youth of America. That's always a fun time. Oof. But not much really going on for me. What is your sweet tea time?
Okay, so my sweet tea time. So I'm kind of like nervous / excited because I hurt myself really bad, like 5 years ago in cheerleading. I was a competitive cheerleader. It's a big deal to me. We can get into that later one day. But I hurt myself. I've always had issues with it, and I didn't get surgery. And I got an MRI done last week, or this previous week, and then I have an appointment to talk about it and discuss, treatment options this week. So I'm kind of nervous / excited. I don't know like what I'm gonna have to have done, but I don't want to be in pain anymore. And I have a video of me hurting myself if anyone's interested. So, all right.
Let's get into it. It's my week, and I'm covering the Laci and Scott Peterson case that kind of took storm in the early 2000s in California. So let's get into it. First, let's go over Laci and Scott Peterson's history before we get into the case.
Yeah.
Laci was born on May 4th, 1975. She was the younger of two children, Sharon and Denise Robert Roca, and they had an older brother named Rhett. Parents met in high school on a dairy farm. She worked at the dairy farm, stuff like that. She also was in cheer, junior high, and high school. Of course, you'd love to hear that.
Yes, I do love to hear that.
But yeah, later on, parents got divorced, and their mother then moved to Modesto, California. So a lot of the story is going to take place in Modesto, California.
So basically, California just always has stuff going on, basically.
It really does. And I mean, during this time.
Because last week was California too, right?
Yeah, California. So, sorry, California. This is not looking good for y'all right now.
No, it's really not.
So, going on to that, she then went to California Poly. Isn't that what it's called? Oh, California Polytech State University and majored in ornamental horticulture.
Oh.
Okay.
Isn't horticulture like plants?
Yeah, plants. Mm-hmm. Scott was born October 24th, 1972 in San Diego, California, and to Lee Arthur Peterson and Jackie Latham. And they owned a little boutique. Ooh. Jackie had 6 children from previous relationships, and Scott was their only child together. So when she got married to Scott's dad, they was their only child together from that marriage.
That is expensive.
I know. It was
7 kids?
Mm-hmm.
Good Lord, I hope them things.
So this is kind of important to know for the future. Okay. He loved playing golf at a really early age, and by the age of 14, they said that he could beat his own dad at the game. Again, with my family loving golf is a very hard sport to play, and it's really hard to get really well at. So
my sister's like a golf prodigy.
Oh, really?
Yeah, she used to get like special lessons and stuff, and they said like she just had this like natural swing, like this natural talent, and she just has always been very good at golf. Oh, fun fact. She don't play golf, but
well, she should pick up that.
Apparently, yeah.
Yeah. So then for a while, he had dreams of becoming a professional golfer, and he was teammates with the future pro Phil Mickelson at the University of San Diego High School. And he was one of the top junior golfers in San Diego at the time.
Wow, okay.
So that's the history of Laci and Scott. Now let's get into more of their relationship. Now, Scott at the time was working at a Pacific Cafe at a restaurant in Morro Bay. And Laci would often visit the restaurant because she had friends there. And I guess she had kind of seen Scott, thought he was cute, and to build up the courage to like actually say, hey, she'd have to visit it a couple more times.
Hey.
Hey. And eventually wrote her number on a napkin and gave it to him.
That's such a 2000s move.
It really is. And I wish people had more of like that nowadays instead of it being, I swiped on a dating app.
Oh yeah,
I
or like you get a random ad on Snapchat.
random on
What's
Snapchat.
up?
Hey, what you doing? No, wish it was
I thank
more.
the good Lord every day that I don't have to ever like date again.
Me too.
Cause
I'm over that.
I love being married to my man, and I don't want to have to do all that. It's terrible. It's awful.
Mm-hmm.
It wasn't bad with Caden though, which is
Yeah.
we're married, so obviously he was
Worked
the
out.
one.
Worked out really well for y'all. So again, she wrote her phone number down on the napkin and gave it to him. And she later told her mom that this is going to be the man that she's going to marry. So Scott later then called Laci. They began dating. Relationship grew a lot more serious. And then Scott would then put aside his dreams of being a professional golfer to focus on the business career. Of course, as you're dating, you need to kind of see what's more important in your life. And I think that was a good thing.
I think like if he had the potential, like if he was at a point where he was getting recruited actively and it was like something that he could truly see happening, yeah. But when you have job expectations that are a very small percentage of the population, when you're an adult and ready to settle down, it's almost kind of like, is this what's going to happen for me? And if it's not, it might be time to turn to something else.
Yeah. So they
Which
dated.
We know about that.
Yeah. So they dated for 2 years and then they eventually moved in together. After Laci graduated, they married at a cute little Sycamore Mineral Springs resort.
Okay.
And the pictures were so cute. They had like a little checkerboard and like a little dance. The
At
wedding
the resort
pictures.
wedding.
Yeah.
Okay, Papa.
Yeah, early 2000s or like 1997. Like that's really like good. Like that was really cute.
That
for
was
that
the
time.
thing then. Yeah.
And even now, like checkerboard dance floors are still a thing.
Yeah, they're really cute.
It is cute. Laci at the time took a job and Scott finished out his senior year. They say that during this time, though, Scott had engaged in his first extramarital affair. But
So
we don't know the details surrounding that. We just know that it apparently
But
did
we know
happen.
he is unfaithful.
Mm-hmm.
That's I mean, of course, it's a red flag. Like if somebody cheats on you, I'm sorry, you need to leave that person because that's not the one for you.
Mm-mm.
But if he's cheating and we're sitting here discussing a true crime case, I'm just gonna assume he done messed up.
He did messed up. So they had opened up. Apparently, they'd opened up a little sports bar called the Shack, and
The Shack.
yeah, it's called the Shack.
Wow,
Shack.
that sounds so appealing.
Yeah,
Yummy.
the Shack, and they decided they'd open it up for a little while, and then they put it up for sale. And then once someone bought it, they had then moved back to Laci's hometown in
Did they change
Modesto.
the name?
I don't know if they changed
I
the name.
sure hope they did.
And then they moved there to start a family. But side note, Laci had always wanted kids. Scott had told her, I don't. So she's always been the type, I really want kids. She's like, no, I really don't.
I don't know how people get married when they can't agree on such huge things.
Like that is a really big thing. If one doesn't want kids and the other one does, then how can you
get married? Because that you both want two completely separate lives. Like that is not gonna be a good thing.
Yeah, well, I agree with that. And they say right here, Laci's family, including her mom and younger sister, really said that Laci devoted her time to really being the perfect housewife, cooking, cleaning, really watching like Martha Stewart to like perfect her cooking techniques and all that. But she just really wanted to be the perfect housewife for her husband. And you have to admire that because as you'll see what happens, it just gets worse. But Laci discovered in February 10th, 2003, that she was pregnant.
Okay.
With her firstborn son, and they were going to name him Connor. Connor.
That's definitely like a little golfer name.
Yeah, so, but at the time, again, he wasn't wanting kids. And I remembered hearing from the documentary from Netflix that everyone was really excited, but he was just kind of.
Well, I mean, he knows how kids are made. He obviously had a contribution. So, I mean, if he didn't want kids, I'm sure he could have done something to prevent it.
He really could have.
On his end, at least.
Mm-hmm.
So, I mean, he can't be mad. Don't hate the player, hate the game.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying?
But again, her due date was February 10th, 2003. So, again, during this time, she's pregnant, going through all the struggles of that. But apparently, in November 2002, Scott was introduced by a friend of his.
You said November 2002?
Yeah, November
Girl,
2002.
that's when I was born.
Well, I'm sorry to tell you this, but Scott was introduced to a friend, to a lovely lady named Amber Frey, a Fresno massage therapist who would then begin a romantic relationship with. While he is still married.
Does she know that he's married?
We're getting to that. It gets better.
She's a massage therapist?
She's a massage therapist, and then they later begin a romantic relationship in November 2002. Okay.
Did she begin the romance while she was, being a massager? Because that is illegal, I'm pretty sure.
I don't know if it was during that. Maybe it was after hours.
Wait, I know somebody who got arrested for partaking in romantic relations from a massage person.
Oh, really?
Yes. I can tell you more about it later.
Mm-hmm. Okay, so again, she's pregnant. Again, everyone seems really excited. They say Scott seemed to be equally thrilled. I don't really believe that, but they're seemingly living. Yeah. And just from the news footage that I would watch of him, I don't know, they really got a good vibe. But then again, now we're in December 23, or December 2000.
23?
We're on December 23rd, 2002.
I was about to say, that was a long pregnancy.
Lacey and Scott, they go to like a little salon, and Amy Roca, which is Lacey's sister, is giving him a haircut, and Scott's telling her, hey, yeah, Christmas Eve the next day, I'm going to go golfing. And just letting y'all know, yeah, I'm going to go golfing. And she was asking him, hey, since you're going to go golfing near this location, can you pick up this thing for me? And he said, yeah, I can do that. And everyone knew that he was going to go golfing that day. So,
he just randomly brought that up at the
he's like, yeah, I'm going to go pick up a fruit basket. I'm going to do this. And they said that he would all play golf. And then later that night, Lacey's mom, Sharon, had called Lacey on the phone around 8:30 that evening, and that would be the last time anyone would hear from Lacey, was at 8:30 that night. So the last people that had heard from her again were Amy, Sharon, and her husband, Scott. So now we're getting into December 24th, 2002. Again, she's 8 months pregnant at this, and 10 days before, I think it was December 14th, there's the infamous photo of her in this like red dress at a Christmas party. Pregnant. And she's very much pregnant. She's laying back, and people could tell like she was just a little bit like sad off. Again, she's 8 months pregnant.
Yeah, and her husband being a doo-doo face.
Mm-hmm. And cheating during this time.
And cheating on her, good Lord.
And she had no clue of all this being done.
Yeah, I mean, she probably had no clue, but I feel like, obviously I don't have any experience, but I feel like if your husband is to the point where he's like cheating on you and like that's how the relationship's going, like you probably feel that the vibe is off, at least, don't you think?
Yeah. Well, maybe she didn't know. Maybe she didn't know anything about it.
She probably didn't know, but she probably could feel that something was off about the relationship, and he was like not being excited about the child. If I was carrying, a creation of me and my husband, I would want him to be ecstatic. I also would expect him to wait on me hand and foot, which he already does, but especially when I'm pregnant, of course.
I agree with that.
It should be a wonderful, beautiful time, not a time where your husband's running around creeping on you with other folks.
You're right about that.
So
should not be doing that.
I don't trust Mr. Scotty here.
I don't either. Let's see. And then, so the next day, they say December 24th, the day that Lacey went missing, Scott had told the police that he had gone fishing at Berkeley Marina. Remember, the night before.
Hold up. He was supposed to be going golfing, correct?
Exactly. Okay. So then the story changed from going golfing to fishing. And so they apparently left their home, or he left the home in Modesto around 9:30 a.m., and apparently Lacey was supposed to be walking the family dog, Mackenzie.
Mackenzie?
The dog.
They named their dog after a person.
Yeah. I thought that was a little odd too.
Mackenzie.
Mackenzie, come here. No, I don't like that.
I don't like that either.
Apparently, during this time, Scott called Laci's friends to say that Laci went missing, and he was very calm about it. Just, yeah.
They always are.
Yeah, she went missing, and then during the time, friends are doing flyers, posters, and everything out, and he's just very...
He ain't doing nothing, is he? Not a thing.
Again, he's cooperating with the police at first,
Hmm.
but throughout it, he's just getting less and less involved in the case.
Well, I'm not a criminal justice professional. Oh, wait. I am. Oh my gosh. But I will tell you right now, the husband did it.
Husband did it.
But did he have anybody that was a witness as to where he was during his alibi?
During the alibi, no, because apparently he was going by himself.
So he ain't got no alibi.
Mm-hmm.
Isn't that a song? Ain't
Is
got
it?
no alibi. I feel like I've heard that in a song.
Oh, it is.
I don't know. I'll look it up later.
But later on, it says the couple's picture-perfect life was then starting to crack because her disappearance went nationwide because
I've heard of this before. So
I was alive, but I was like 2 when this happened, so I don't remember much of it.
I was alive as well, but
I was like a month old.
When she went missing? I was like a month old.
Yeah, you were a month old. But even my mom, she's like, yeah, I remember when this case happened. It was nationwide. Everybody was freaking out. Like, she's 8 months pregnant with her child, and the husband's just
terrible.
Very calm about it. And everyone's freaking out. Her friends are freaking out. The mom's freaking out. And towards the end of it, they were saying, he's innocent. He's fine. And then later on, no. But again, he tried to portray as being devastated, being...
Well, he's doing a terrible job.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, good lord.
But investigators noted just behavior in his statements and how he was acting was weird.
A lot of times too, with stuff like that goes national, they try to get behavioral analysis in too.
Mm-hmm.
Somebody that can come in and watch them and be analyze, or what did I just say? Analyze his body language and stuff.
Well, another thing I think you would find interesting in this case is that during the time, she's missing, the police have to come by the house. They have to, of course, check with everything. And again, they might see little things here that are off, but they don't see anything big.
Mm-hmm.
But later on, as the case was growing and there's more discrepancies, and they come back again, maybe a month or 2 later, and they find that stuff has been moved around. The baby's room that was once filled with love and excitement over a new baby is now the husband's junk room. If you're waiting for your wife to come home after she's been deemed missing, wouldn't you want that to be kind of like an open space for hope for the child?
Yeah, and the thing is too is a lot of times in those kind of situations when people lose somebody like that, like a child or someone that stayed with them, they usually don't do anything to their room. They usually try to preserve it.
Yeah, really.
Just to keep up the normalcy or something. But I mean, that's a bad sign, because why would you turn it into a junk room? Because that shows you don't think they're coming back. It shows you're not holding on to the hope.
It really is.
So that would be my first thing. Well, along with the fact that he is not loyal. I can't stand a cheater.
Later on, again, like I said, he had met that Amber Frey girl. During the investigation, it was revealed that Scott had been having an affair with her, a massage therapist that he met in November. It tells you, sorry, that was when you were born.
Yeah.
So Scott had lied to Amber, telling her that he was not married, but he was a widower.
Okay. I was going to say,
widower. Which led to more suspicion about his behavior and the motives, because he had already been telling her, even before his wife went missing, oh yeah, I'm a widower. My wife is dead.
If you're telling people that you have a dead wife, and then
she's alive,
and then now she's missing, that's not looking good on you.
So she did not know any of this was going on. Again, she fully believed Scott's wife had passed away. Even before all this happened.
See, that's so sad that this innocent woman is getting dragged into this, and now her name is known and out there because this awful man has told her that he's not currently married when he is.
Yeah. So she reached out to the police December 30th because she connected the dots. Again,
Pop off
it's
queen.
news media. It's going to be
Yeah.
everywhere. And I guess Scott was thinking, oh, maybe she wouldn't find out. She would. It was on the TV,
Yeah, I
picture of
mean,
them two together.
imagine sitting there and then that pops up and like your boyfriend at the time is on the news with his missing wife.
Mm-hmm.
I, I would never speak to the man again.
Mm-hmm.
And I would do what she did, call the police. So good job, Amber Frey.
Mm-hmm. Well, she called the police and she had told them, and again, there were pictures of them, and maybe we can insert pic here, but there were pictures of them like throughout the relationship. I mean, they look like a cute couple, Amber and Scott did, and
Yeah.
it just but everyone knew that he was still with Laci. And then
Well, I hope Amber found a good man.
I hope so too. But in the Netflix documentary, she was in it, and I just was like, wow, because I mean, she had no clue this was going
She had
on.
no clue. Yeah, I mean it's not her fault. Now if she was, in a relationship with a man and she knew she was married, I would kind of be like, that's not the best. But she had no idea.
Mm-mm. So again, December 30th is when Scott's affair, Amber Frey, kind of found out about everything that's going on through the news media. She was watching, I think, like a TV, like the TV, and it popped up like the disappearance, and she's like, "Wait, that's the guy I'm dating."
Like,
Oops.
oh,
Oh,
that is
and
a
I thought his
problem.
wife was dead. No, well, she's missing now, but not a widower, not anymore. So she reached out to the police, and I like that because she was covering her trails, like in
Exactly.
case the affair were to
Well,
come out.
yeah. I mean, that's the right thing to do too. And like that shows, like, she didn't know any better. This man told her he was a widow,
Mm-hmm.
which
No, no,
I guess he's making it happen.
making it happen now. But so she connected the dots, disappearances all over the news, and she went to the police station, and they said, "Hey, in order to cover your track and our track, why don't we have your phone and you can tape the conversations?"
Mm-hmm.
So there's like, I think I saw it on YouTube, like 20 minutes worth of conversations, and one I listened to was a New Year's Eve one. Again, she found out December 30th. So the next day, there's a phone call, and he's like, "Hey, everything okay?" "Yeah, everything's good." And then talking about, "Well, Happy New Year, Happy New Year. I'm at the Eiffel Tower now," as he says. "I'm at the Eiffel Tower. I just want to wish you a Happy New Year and can't wait to see you soon as I'm out of the country." He's not out of the country. He's in Modesto, California, looking for his missing wife. Not really well, though, but he is attempting to find her, but not
Like,
well.
why even lie about being in Europe? Like, that is such a cringe thing to
Mm-hmm.
do.
And he's like, "Yeah, you hear the crowd behind me?" So I don't know how he managed to fake that, but yeah, and she said, "Oh wow, that's so cool."
If you
Nope.
have to, like, lie about being in Europe, I don't know. That's just, like, really cringy. Like,
Mm-hmm.
maximum cringe level right there.
Yeah. And then later on, like I think she kind of confessed to him, like, "Hey, I know that your wife is not really dead, but I know she's missing." And he's getting all quiet, and I think he's kind of getting upset at this point that she's figured it out. That like, of course, the news media is going to be pushing out the missing pregnant woman everywhere, and so
Yeah.
she's freaking out.
How dare she figure out that, how dare she figure out the lie that
How
you've
dare
been
she be an
telling?
intelligent woman and figure this out?
Maybe if you don't want somebody to figure something out that you're lying about,
Mm-hmm.
don't tell a lie in the
Yeah.
first place. And don't be cheating on your wife either.
Mm-hmm. And then for a while, so they're still recording their conversations on the phone, and I guess she's still like maybe trying to get like a little bit of a confession out of him, because I think in one tape it's just like, "Well, where is she?" He's like, "I don't know. I'm trying to find her as much as you are." She's like, "What are you talking about?" And she's like, "Just tell me, like, where is she?" And he's not budging. So this goes on for weeks, months. Again, the last thing, like the most important one, was the December 31st one about lying that he was in a whole different country for New Year's in Paris, Eiffel Tower, all that fun stuff.
So he's stupid, but unfortunately, he wasn't stupid enough to confess.
Mm-hmm. But on April 13th, 2003, Laci's body was found.
So that was, what, several months?
Remember, her due date was February 13th, so everyone's like, "Oh my gosh, if anything, she would have had the baby by now." But they found her on April 13th.
So she was missing for 4 months?
Mm-hmm.
And she was supposed to have a baby 2 months prior.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, February 13th.
Oh my gosh.
So they found the bodies of Laci and fetus Connor. They were discovered in San Francisco Bay, about 90 miles away from where Scott had said he was fishing on the day she disappeared. So April 13th is when they found them.
Well,
April 21st was when they finally arrested him, because when they had found the discovery, he had been with his brother down South California, and it was a mad trying to just chase him and finally catch him. And at this point, again, Scott had brown hair and he had dyed his hair blonde. At this point,
well,
we don't know why.
ding, 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 because he's probably planning on running off to somewhere he can't get extradited.
But I remember they had police cars chasing them and trying to get him pulled over, and then there's a famous picture of them going through a drive-through to get food and everything, and he's just quiet, and everyone kind of figured out this is the guy that's responsible for Laci's disappearance. He has the only allies he has are his parents and family.
So was the fetus still in her when they found her?
No, they found the fetus.
Oh my gosh! What?
Yeah, the fetus was outside.
So what had it been removed or birthed or?
I don't know. They just said that it was discovered in San Francisco Bay. So I guess because again the body can decompose. So I guess.
Well, yeah.
So I guess it just kind of.
Because I mean, it's been a while.
Yeah, but I think
terrible,
there were elements of that they could not find head and everything like that. I think they found torso.
Well, when you're in the wilderness like that, it can kind of.
So again, to this day, we still don't know cause of death, even now. Again, if the home was kind of clean, maybe there are points of suffocation, strangulation. We don't know.
I mean, he's not a complete idiot, but he apparently was smart enough to not do anything to immediately get himself caught. And I will say, I do think that if he would have did something to her that would have left a bunch of DNA evidence, I don't think he would have been smart enough to get rid of it or cover it up. Yeah. So I mean, I don't know. I wouldn't say he killed her if he did, which he probably did, but I wouldn't say he killed her in the home. Or not nastily. He might have suffocated her and wrapped her in a body bag or something.
Yeah. So there's that. And then again, they were in the police car, and I think when they arrived to the courthouse, there's just a mob of people. Murderer, you did this. And Laci's family at one point, they were supporting Scott, oh yeah, we know he would never do anything to harm her. And then later on, as they're doing news conferences, they changed their story to be, we don't support him at all, we're not behind him. But today, Scott's family still thinks he's very innocent.
Well, I mean, nobody wants to believe that, their precious child or the person that they let their child marry or that, their child chose marry. Nobody wants to believe that that kind of person would commit something so terrible. Nobody wants to believe that their kid, would do something like that. And nobody wants to believe that their child, would marry somebody that has something like that. And a lot of people, think he wouldn't do this, he couldn't do this, and they think, and when they find out somebody did something terrible, they're like, how could this have happened? We had no idea. But that's the thing, is people that are that messed up inside, they learn throughout the years how to hide it.
Yeah.
And so it catches people by surprise.
Well, here, again, April 21st, 2003, he was charged with 2 counts of murder. First-degree murder of Laci and the second-degree murder of their unborn son, Connor. And later on, it says here, and the trial began in 2004, and it gained national attention. Obviously, pregnant woman goes missing. Now
she
found.
Was already known.
And the shocking nature and twist of Scott's infidelity. And on November 12th, 2004, Scott was convicted of 2 counts of murder and sentenced to death by lethal injection. But they then recounted that he doesn't get lethal injection anymore, but he's still finishing out his sentence.
Okay.
But, yep, that's the sad but awful case of Laci and Scott. But we have theories. We have some theories. We have some theories. Let me get to that. Conspiracy theory number 1. Scott Peterson was framed. He was framed. They think that he was wrongfully convicted and framed for the murders of Laci and Connor, and they think that law enforcement may have been too eager to arrest him and close the case quickly. They say that there is no direct physical evidence tying Scott to the crime scene, and that the bodies of Laci and Connor were found in a location that may not have been where Scott had been fishing. So that's one conspiracy theory.
I mean, I get it, but it's like he was already telling people that he was a widow. So it's like I'm not saying every cheater out there is gonna go kill their wife or husband, because cheaters can be either or. But I'm just saying, when you're already cheating on your wife and she's pregnant and you don't want to have a child, and then you're in that cheating relationship and you're telling this woman that you're a widowed man, that is not a good sign at all.
I have a couple more. Laci's death was an accident, not murder, and this could possibly be one. They say that Laci's death was not the result of foul play, but an accident that Scott tried to cover up. They say that it could have been due to a domestic argument, could have been a physical altercation, that he could have panicked, rightfully so, disposed of her body, and created a cover story to have implicated an accidental death. So maybe that could have been why he was always so calm, because he might have been like, yeah, it was an accident. But he never rightfully said it, but that's why he maybe could have been calm the whole time. Another one is Laci was killed by somebody else, unrelated to Scott. They say that she was murdered by someone completely unrelated. Could have been, then this one I don't like at all. They say people may have had a motive to harm her, but there's no concrete evidence to support this, and that it could have been a kidnapping by a third party. So they say it is crime of opportunistic crime and a random crime. And fourth one, Scott was a victim of media bias and public opinion. They say that he was convicted of not being, painted as the guilty party before the trial. They think he was framed as an unfaithful husband, and it made it difficult for him to receive a fair trial. And
God literally did that to him this whole episode.
And they say that he had the bad guy due to his extramarital affair and lack of visible grief after Laci's disappearance.
Yeah, I did that.
Now this one I think you're gonna laugh. Laci was part of a larger conspiracy, satanic or cult related. Okay?
People just take stuff.
Like,
and
how
they
could
just
that be?
Run with it.
Yeah, this one was crazy. They say that Laci's death was part of a larger, mysterious, perhaps a cult-related conspiracy, that Scott's behavior, his past involvement in strange circumstances, could have posed evidence to Laci's death was not just a domestic tragedy. That mysterious, hidden forces, that individuals beyond
not
Scott
the hidden forces
may have been involved. Now, number 6, the role of Amber Frey. They think that Amber Frey may have been more involved in the events surrounding Laci's disappearance than she publicly let on. They say that she considered a suspect despite her affair, which became a major focal point in the trial. They say that, but there is no direct evidence supporting her involvement in Laci's murder. And they say that she may have played a part in exposing Scott's double life, making her an unintended but significant part of the cases. And then finally, the last theory, which I think was dumb, Laci and Connor's death was staged, faked death. They said that Scott was somehow tied, that he needed it for personal or financial gain, and that's why they happened.
Like he did it to get some insurance money.
They say that Laci's body in a location far from where Scott said he was fishing was too convenient, and implied the death could have been staged, and that it could have been an accident, drowning, or a crime of opportunity. So it just says that there is any credible evidence to support it, and they've dismissed it. But again, that is the case of Laci Peterson. It should not have happened the way it did. She should have been able to deliver her baby, all that. I mean, honestly, if you're having an affair, divorce. We don't like saying that, but why not just get a divorce? And all this could have been probably avoided. She would have lived out her life with her baby that she so desperately wanted to have. But, and to this day, Scott remains innocent. He has said he is innocent. Any wrongdoing.
He's in jail,
He's in jail, yeah. I think a new case or a new trial might open up coming up soon.
Really?
Yeah, that's what I've read. But
I mean, okay, so did they have like DNA evidence to tie him to it? Is the thing?
the thing is, though, because there's not really any evidence. Again, they never really found all of her body, and since it was found in the sea, it was already like.
I mean, I'm sure there's still stuff you can do. Like, I mean, I'm not in forensics, but like, I feel like if you find, blood or anything like that, I mean, you can pull something. But I mean, I do think that the fact she washed up in the water and after he was fishing, fairly close to where he was fishing is not a good sign. I don't think he chopped her up or anything. I think he might have got her. A lot of people, when they throw somebody in the water, they get them with blunt force trauma to the head, because even if it don't kill them all the way, they'll drown. And then when you're in the water for 2 months, 3 months, I mean, there's gonna be fish in there that partake in the decomposition. That's terrible. I know it is, but he seems like one of those people. He's not a complete genius, but he's, not the dumbest person in the world. So I feel like it's kind of one of those things that it's like he was just smart enough and also just dumb enough
to get away with it.
Yeah, to like get away with it, but not get away with it. But I do think like the lack of evidence and everything does make it difficult. I just think the circumstantial evidence is really bad, and I know that you can't. You're not supposed to stereotype or profile based on like those outside circumstances, but with that kind of case, you really kind of need to think about it. I mean, you can't justify, hey, this guy killed his wife because he was cheating on her. But you can't ignore the fact that his wife is dead or was missing, and you can't ignore the fact that he was having an affair and that he was saying, hey, yeah, I'm a widow. So it's like, how do you, not cross that line? Because it's like, it's a very thin line you have to walk.
Yeah.
But then again, I mean, you said she was a housewife, right? So she didn't work.
She was a little bit of she was a substitute teacher, but she maintained like wanting to be the perfect housewife.
So she was like for the most part a housewife. So I mean, she might have had some time to be in a cult, but I doubt she was in a cult.
No, I don't think so.
I think back, so they had a lot of cults in like the 80s and 90s. And so in like the early 2000s, people were very jumpy when it came to stuff, and they would be like, "Oh, cult, yeah, cult."
Yeah. I don't think this case would have been like that, because I mean, she's 8 months pregnant.
If she would have been in a cult, somebody would have came. First of all, most time, eventually people either end up dying or leaving the cults and talking about it later. So somebody would have came out and said, "Yeah, we were in the cult together." So, and that has not happened. So I don't think that was the case.
Well, that's the end of our story. Hate that it happened the way it did.
Yeah,
it should not have happened at all, but see y'all next week. Again, this video will hit Sunday at 1 p.m.
Also, I don't think all cheaters are murderers, okay? I know I was being a little rude.
Just to clarify.
I just think all cheaters are not good people. So, don't cheat on your wife or your husband. But, yeah, I think he killed her. Just be for real. But yeah, we'll see y'all Sunday at 1. And just, keep commenting. What do you think happened? What do you want to hear? Where do you want us to go within reason? Because I will not be going to the Cecil Hotel or nowhere crazy like that. So, thank y'all.
Bye, guys.
Bye.